And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is such a big honor for me to be here. I'd like to ask Michael to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Grimm.
Party. You got Anthony Scaramucci. Hey, my childhood friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Doctor, how are you? God bless. Wow. I'm supposed to use these things, right? I don't really use them very much. But let me start just to say a heartfelt thank you, and please join me in a Staten Island thank you to Anthony Scaramucci. Thank you, Frank. I want to thank the entire volunteer team for helping to put this together with all the people at the Hilton. What a great job. Thank you very, very much. We had some beautiful singers here. I think it was Christina, I can't see her, Arlette. Thank you so much for the beautiful music. As always, we appreciate it. The pastor, thank you for blessing us. And thank all of you for being here. You know, I'm overblown. You know, sometimes you just have to step back and say, you're blessed. I'm so blessed to have such truly loyal and dedicated supporters. You know, without you, I don't get to do this, and I want you to know, from the very bottom of my heart, I mean this. You're the reason that I do this. You are the reason that I get up here. You're the reason that I want to make this fight, and why we're going to win our congressional seat back. Are my inspiration. I want you to know that. You never ever stop amazing me. You don't. Every time I come out here, you know why? You have the enthusiasm, you have the excitement, and for me, what means the most is you have the dedication to having my back, and that means the world to me. And I want you to know something. I've got your back too. I think my mom is here. Love you, Mom. My sister is here. Love you, sis. And I don't know where my godmother went, but Aunt Grace, Uncle Jimmy. I love you guys. All my good friends, thank you so much. You know, it feels like it was so long ago that we were standing in a parking lot, right? We were standing in a parking lot announcing our candidacy as the underdog. And I'll never forget, we were being scoffed at, all right? The Washington elites, the establishment, they were telling us we had absolutely no chance. Get this thing right, sorry. They said we couldn't win. Well, I'll tell you what, that certainly has changed. Okay? My opponent is literally in a panic at this moment. He sees this room, he sees your enthusiasm, he is in a panic. Okay? That's why he's out there paying for volunteers. Okay? Volunteers from outside the district to come in and pretend that they're volunteering. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Okay? Listen. If I had to sum it up in a word, our opponents are desperate. Okay? That's what it is. They're desperate. And this guy is, you know, he went to Washington and became one of the most liberal Republicans in the country. Literally in the country. Was writing letters to the president. Was writing letters asking for amnesty. Okay? And then he co-sponsored not one, but 2 amnesty bills. And then has the audacity to vote against the president's banning of sanctuary cities. Okay? Down the line. Comes back, goes on CNN, MSNBC, proud of his votes. He was proud. He was actually doing interviews saying that he would not punish sanctuary cities. But now, you want to talk about a 180? I guess he's found the error of his ways. I don't know. He's suddenly an immigration hawk. I mean, he's looking to deport everybody. I'm not kidding. I won't even speak Spanish around him. I'm afraid he might want to deport me. I actually think he does want to deport me. But seriously, that is so typical of the Washington elite and their arrogance. See, the truth is, he thinks we're all stupid. He actually thinks that the community doesn't know we're here today because we do what we have always been doing, okay? It's very simple. We go out, we get into the community, and we connect with our voters, and we actively listen to our neighbors and their concerns, and then we take the time to figure out how we're going to go about resolving those issues. That's what we've always done. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been hearing as I campaign across this island and across the bridge to that wonderful borough that I was born in, Brooklyn. How many Brooklyn people we have here today? Welcome, Brooklyn people. I think my mother still considers herself a Brooklyn person. She was born and raised there. And she did meet my beloved dad there. Mom, you were about 15 years old when you met Dad. First guy she ever dated, she married him. Right? That's how it was back then. 15 years old, married at 18, had my sister at 19. The days have changed, but you know what? The values haven't. You know, as I go around, unfortunately, I'm hearing that the quality of life is diminishing at every turn. Whether it's an increase in the homeless that we see in the ferry terminal, the subway stations, the rise in the petty crimes. We see needles all over the ground because we have a severe drug epidemic that is destroying family after family. We all know about the unbearable traffic that plagues us, the explosive cost, the water keeps going up, and also the continuously rising property taxes. And let me tell you about those property taxes, okay? For a lot of our hardworking families, and let's not forget our beloved seniors, they're barely getting by. Okay, this city is trying to drain them of every last drop. Make no mistake about it. The mayor, our mayor, cares more about competing with Governor Cuomo to be the most progressive Democrat so he can run someday for president. And let me be crystal clear. Okay, Staten Island and Brooklyn, this congressional district, is without a doubt the last beacon of hope for all of us that are rational-minded, family-oriented, conservative, principled people. We're the last ones in this city of New York. We're it. We're the last. Completely. And that is a fact. So, the question is so simple. Do we want injection sites here in our district? Do we want more homeless living in the terminals and the train stations? We want vagrants across our streets? No. Very simple. Do we want to be a sanctuary city? No. Well, neither do I. And you know what? Neither does our great president, Donald Trump. Right? What are we going to do about it? Let me tell you what we're going to do about it. The first thing, we're going to win this election. That's what we're going to do. And when we do that, we're going to have our president's back. How about that one? That'd be a change. We're going to stand up to Mayor de Blasio. Because guess what? I'm not afraid to hold him accountable. I'll hold back funding on our mayor. Okay? At the end of the day, this is our city. This is our home. These are our families. And I'm telling you something else. I am not afraid to stand right next to our president and keep making America great again. And I know you're with me. You know, I'm actually in awe. You don't hear it too much from the media, but I actually am in awe of the president, of what he's accomplished in less than 2 years. In less than 2 years. In spite of, think about it, in spite of weak Republicans, in spite of the left's resistance movement, in spite of the mainstream media that bashes him 24/7, this is a man, the exact man that we needed at exactly the right time. That's why we voted for him. When America was circling the drain, as our military was being degraded, our police taken for granted, our economy suffering, we had overregulation, bad trade deals, uncompetitive taxes, all stifling our ability to grow. Our enemies, they were gaining strength. And our allies, They were losing faith in us. The United States of America under Barack Obama was failing, and every statistic proves it. So, you know what happened? The people, not the government, the people, knowing we were in dire straits, looked to a non-politician, a successful businessman with an unconventional style, certainly an unconventional approach. He was then candidate Donald Trump. But you know what? The people were behind him. But from the moment he was elected, he was under attack. And that's something I know quite a bit about. From the media and the radical left, the truth is they were apoplectic. They still don't. They couldn't accept that he won. They just couldn't accept it. They were literally crying. They were petting puppies to calm down. Remember that? They were looking for safe places on college campuses instead of taking exams and going to class. And then, because they believed the world had ended. They thought the world was going to end. And then what happened? The politically corrupt, highest upper echelon of the FBI DOJ implemented the insurance policy. That's right, Russia collusion narrative. Let's be honest, that was created for one reason, to take down our president and overturn the will of the people. Your will. That's what this is about. But he's still standing tall. He's still standing tall, and most of all, he's persevering. He's persevering through it all. And we now find out all that was really going on as it's coming out every day. We hear about, what I said 3 years ago, I was laughed at. But now we all know at the highest levels among our political appointees, most of them, unadulterated political motivation, not justice. Not even something that remotely looks like justice. We all know the names: Loretta Lynch, James Comey, remember them? Yeah, my opponent couldn't stop saying how he was such close friends with them. All their minions, they were all out to use their power to circumvent the justice system and, what most important, our democracy and your vote. And we are not going to let that happen. No, we're not. Our democracy will prevail. Our president has not let us down, not once. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not going to let you down either. So as we take on our progressive mayor, we forge ahead. Let him try to destroy our quality of life and everything we believe in. I'll stand up, I'll push back, and together we'll ensure that the mayor does not turn our neighborhoods into what I would consider a failed socialist experiment. That's not going to happen to us. It's not going to happen. You know what? Together we're going to rally around our president. And we're going to push to pass an agenda that you, by the way, the American people voted for. We're going to build a wall. How about that? We're going to fix a broken immigration system. It's going to be fair, it'll be humane, and it's going to be one that benefits the United States of America instead of every single other country in the world. How about that? You know why? Because it's time we put America first. And we're going to continue to build our military. That's right. We're going to honor our veterans. We're going to take care of our seniors. We're going to take care of our disabled and our children. And guess what? Our children dream too. President Trump is exactly right. He's exactly right. You know what we have as Americans? We have endless potential. Endless. And we're going to keep growing our economy. We're going to keep getting better jobs. We're going to create a situation where wages actually increase. They rise as unemployment continues to fall. You know, the consumer confidence is up. It's almost at an all-time high. And that's because the world recognizes us once again as the global leader that we always were. And that's why we need President Trump. And that's why I'm going back to Washington to have his back. So if he implements a peace through strength approach to our foreign policy and applies maximum pressure, our allies are becoming more emboldened, and our enemies are finally becoming weaker. That's what bold leadership does. And bold leadership was sorely missed throughout the Obama administration. What it's also missing right now is this congressional district. We don't have any leadership here in Staten Island or Brooklyn, and that's something we're about to change. This congressman has been retired in place. Well, I'm going to retire him even earlier. And that's because of you. That's because of your hard work. It's about your dedication. We're going back to Washington, and we are going to stand with our president, and we are going to start by doing one thing and one thing only: keeping America great. So I'm looking forward to getting back to work. We're going to continue to move the mountains we always did for you and your neighbors. That's what we were known for. And you know what I think? I think that because of how hard you work, you deserve a congressman that's going to work as hard as you. And I've been, I think back to 2010, 2011, all those tough times, and I know one thing: I've always had your back. I even had your back when I was a teenager. Hurrah! Hurrah! I remember when I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and people will say to me, you sure you still have what it takes? Let me tell you something. I never, ever shied away from the tough jobs. Never once. Okay? I was always one to stand first in line. And I'll tell you a very quick story. When I was on the front lines, they needed 2 volunteers to go with a specialized unit. 18 of us or so were qualified for the job, and we walked into the tent, and the commanding officer asked us to line up. He told us it was going to be one of the bloodiest missions to liberate Kuwait. The officer in charge said, "Look to your left and look to your right. One of those Marines will not come back. We are expecting 50% casualties. So if you don't have what it takes, step back and do not go forward into this briefing." I was the first to step forward, followed by one other Marine. And we went along with those specialized units and were the first ground forces to go in when the ground war started. I was willing then to give my life for this country. And I want you to know, I'm still willing to give my life for this country. So when I'm asked, and I often am, I'm asked, how can I go right back into the lion's den after all that's happened? I tell them one thing: because I am not finished yet. That's why. And in fact, we are just getting started. They don't realize something. Marines always finish our mission. We have a lot of work to do here in Staten Island and Brooklyn. Heck, we have an entire nation to rebuild. But we're going to build it better, and we're going to build it stronger than we ever have. And I know that when I was faced knee-deep in an undercover case with the FBI and the pressure was really on, that's when I was at my best. I knew then I had to keep pushing. I knew that I had to stay focused on the objective. And my objective now is very simple. We're going to ensure that our quality of life, here where we live, where we choose to live and raise our families, isn't the next casualty of the radical left agenda. We can and we will overcome this opioid epidemic. That's something we will do together. We can and we will fix all the broken infrastructure. And we're going to provide additional transportation. God knows we desperately need it. And we're never going to stop honoring our cops, our firemen, our school teachers, all of our first responders, and the hard-working men and women that actually go to work every day and make this country run. Those are the people we should be honoring. You know why? Because we're not like the rest of New York City. Okay? We are the heart and soul of America. We are small-town USA, and we're not going to give up. We're not going to be swallowed up by the progressives or their individual agendas. Over my dead body, we'll give it up. So guess what? We have the right president in Washington, and now we're going to have the right congressman in Staten Island and Brooklyn. God bless you. God bless our president. And God bless